Good morning. It's Wednesday morning here at OG Foundation in Elodium. I'm here in the Citadel of Castle Stark, and this little chickie was laid out like looking dead this morning. Something happened maybe this morning. It was fine last night with Wisdom, and then they must have gotten separated, and this one probably got beat up by the other ones and got cold. I thought it was dead. It's just barely alive. So I'm trying to blow hot air on it and revive it and get it some water. And if I can do that, I'm gonna separate the chick and Wisdom and put them in a different place. And hopefully Chickie survives, but it's not looking good right now. Young Stormborn is just clinging to life, just barely holding on. I'm trying to blow hot air on it and drip little drips of water in its mouth. And I'm starting up the incubator, and that's where I'm gonna have to leave it in the incubator for a little while to hopefully let it recover today. I almost forgot my before video amidst all the chick drama. Right now the chick's still in the incubator. I'm hoping it recovers. We'll see. So I'm on my first batch of the morning, and I'm starting with this, trying to connect the floor to the wall and cover up as much of the gaps in the lath as I can. So this is what I've got so far. And then I'm going to get some on this arch here as well. And then probably do another batch over in the courtyard. Stormborn is back on its feet. So I'm thinking I should go get its mom and put them back together before it's separated too long, so Wisdom keeps treating it like a mom, but I'll put them in a different area and hopefully that'll be good. I'm trying to see if it's better to keep the chick in the incubator or keep it with Wisdom. It's looking like it's probably needing to stay in the incubator for a bit longer. I don't think she's really patient enough with it right now. No. Oh gosh. Okay. That was a bad idea. Well, the cute Stormborn didn't make it. It managed to get pinned on the corner of the thing and seemingly like suffocated or something. I don't know. I haven't seen a chick got like pinned against the corner of that thing before, but it doesn't seem like it was its fate to live. It almost died twice. I tried rescuing it twice, but such is the fate of young Stormborn. Look, there's a visitor. This cat has, I think it stayed in the barn. It's like a stray cat. I call it Maximus, and then I also call it Chance. So it's Maximus Chance. And I was just saying hi to it, and then Kit Kat came out of the bushes right where it's going in. They're hanging out together. They made friends. So maybe one day, Chance there will join the family. Looks like it wants to be part of the family already. But still pretty nervous around me. So I've given it some food. It'll come to my window oftentimes at night and different times, and it'll ask for food, and I'll give it a little bit of food, so it's working its way into the household. Here's the view from up on the Citadel. One day I'll enclose this whole space, and this will probably be the area where I move into. I really like hanging out up here. The views are amazing. The sunsets are amazing. I really like the new wall going in and the way that it demonstrates what level is even as it turns and provides depth. It is a really kind of like grounding, balancing, stabilizing kind of feel to it. And also probably because we're sitting just about at that level. It might even be hard to tell from the image how the angle of the wall changes from here, other than by the varying widths of the crenelles. Beautiful day. It's the end of the day, Wednesday. I was able to get really good coverage on that last Merlon. They'll have to do some prep to get it up to the right height. And I got some really good coverage on all these Merlons and their sidewalls, or at least those two. Not so much these two yet. And I just had to delete a whole bunch of videos to make room for new videos, which took a while for my phone. So in the process, I got probably at least 6 handfuls of fresh raspberries harvested off of the roof. So I'm also showing you this. This is done this week, or today. This is done today, man. I'm slightly out of it. So that third piece of rebar is totally boarded in, and I got really good coverage on that part of getting that rebar in there. And I might have gotten another batch on the back of that form, so I can take the form off tomorrow. I think there's a number of forms I might be able to take off tomorrow. And then made a lot of progress over here with this structure, though I guess it doesn't really look like it because I just got another whole coat on all that, so I might be moving that form tomorrow. I need to put 2 more pieces of rebar horizontally in there at the mortar line, and then up near the top of that piece of lath. Got good coverage over there. Got probably about a little more than 50% coverage on the arch, most of it all on that side, and a good bit on the underneath as well, which it's hard to kind of show with the lighting. But with all that, so good progress for today. You can see over here on the farmer lawn, just about all covered and getting a bunch of the kind of indented spots in the other areas. But it all dries so fast, it's almost hard to tell which is the fresh stuff and which is the older stuff. But that's it for today. Hopefully it'll be good weather for more mortar tomorrow. So I got that form off, so I can put a coat on this side now, as well as getting I got the form up for this final Merlon up here, and then it makes clear kind of this transition, which there's one little piece I still have to figure out to kind of make the transition work. But with this next batch, I'll be able to get really good coverage on this final Merlon, and then that one. And so this batch is going in the courtyard. By Thursday evening, I got on another piece of remesh in the tunnel. 2 more pieces of lath. They're not fully done up yet. And figured out how to do the transition. It's getting a little bit taller. And by cutting that piece of remesh, I'm able to lift the ceiling of it, and I'm just about connected. And I've got like a little hole there where I can still get up on the far side, so I could probably add a good half sheet of lath here as well, probably as prep in the morning before I get to the next batch. It's still really confusing around the corner, that other structure there, as far as what the water is going to do, but good progress with the prep. By the afternoon on Friday, after 2 batches so far today, these other 2 small Merlons have pretty good coverage. The last exposed lath is that horizontal, this horizontal, a little bit of there, and then that little bit over there. And that's about it for the exposed lath over here. A lot of it will need multiple more coats. So it's still going to be several days before I can finish over here. But it's going to be great to finally finish this kind of corner up, and then I can just focus on the far end. What I've been doing the last few days is 3 batches, and it'll be like 1 batch over there, 1 batch over here, and then the 3rd batch over there. So, or yesterday it was 2 batches, and then a lot of prep. So I got 2 batches in so far today. Now I'm going to do some more prep, and then I'm going to try to get a 3rd batch as well over here. And you can see how much coverage I've got so far. About halfway up on the left side. So then the prep I'm going to do is get the rest of that lath there fully prepped by tying it to the remesh tight. And then the next batch I make is going to go over here on this tunnel section. I'll probably put a little bit more lath up as well. So it'll be a bit of prep over here. This is the last tall Merlon in the courtyard. So I got all these forms off. So I'll be covering all of that now, which is pretty much most of the exposed lath that's left. Though there's a lot of mortar to do on all this to get to like a finish coat. But I just wanted to give you a shot of all of this before I mortar it all up. This is like oftentimes the most satisfying coat to sandwich in all that and turn all that complication into a simple monolith. So after one coat, it gets really good coverage all the way up in there. You can see kind of like the bulges in it are largely due to where rebar is, if not for like the way that form's lined up. So I can just kind of like smooth that out in additional coats. But that's some great coverage on that. Now I just got to cover up this exposed form on this side. Also, I already have all the staples bent up and are ready for more mortar. I'll try to get coverage on the lath on like those fins as well. And the last few pieces of exposed lath, try to get some coverage on them too. Here at the end of the day on Sunday, I got a lot of coverage on this tunnel section. I used a piece of rebar there to help connect the two shapes. But I still have to fill that gap, but I'm still using it to get through. So I'm trying to figure out when is the best time to seal it. And then got coverage on all the areas where the forms came off over there. And I'm starting to get rebar onto this wall, but I got to pin it in there a little bit better before I can mortar it. And then I got to figure out how tall I want that wall, if I want to stay at this height here or if I want to lower it so that it's like you can see out, because if it stays at the same height standing there, you won't be able to see out. So we'll see. Midday Monday started off by mortaring up the metalwork I did yesterday, which is extending the tunnel to the narrow part right there. And I've got to tie it together with a wire to make it narrower and the ceiling a little bit taller. So I can't really go through there right now. But I got some good coverage on the tunnel on the outside. And then after the first batch, I've been doing metalwork, so I'm extending the wall. I figured out the pivot point in that corner where it's gonna transition from that corner and then come over to this structure. And so that was a big confusing thing, and I've mostly figured it out, and then got more forms up to extend this whole wall section. So on to batch 2. By the end of the day on Monday, got a second coat on that whole wall and a good bit over here as well. So I might take the forms off of that wall tomorrow, depending on what I'm going to do for the crenellation pattern above. And a good bit more coverage here. I just haven't closed up that hole yet, or this hole, but there's a good bit on all these tunnels. And one other thing that I'm doing is putting this piece of lath in over here, just kind of ad hoc. It's tricky with these to level out the crenelles oftentimes after they're already done. That's one of the ways I'm going to do it. I'm just going to mortar in. I was actually meant to do it in my last batch, I forgot. Mortar in the two sides and then adjust the middle later on. But over here, this is just making something to like walk out on. And it's not very level. It's a lot higher over there, lower over here. But when it gets all connected, it'll probably end up just being like a couple inches thick. And it'll be a good structural reinforcement, as well as a way to walk out there. And then access that, and then it doesn't impede on the drain below. And it'll make like a little empty space beneath that, which will be kind of interesting. We'll see what happens with that. I added another piece of rebar here, and starting to round the corner to start aiming towards the garage structure. That's it for today. Tuesday morning, the goal today I think is to remove some of those forms and get some mortar on the backside, get some more coverage on the tunnel. And then I think that gonna do some dirt moving over here, digging some dirt out of the tunnel and building some sort of tire wall to put the dirt into over there, because I'm gonna have some help doing some earthwork today. So see what happens. Here's the back side of that area where the forms are. Just kind of cleared out the tires, but I think all those can come down now. So by the end of the day on Friday, I was able to get this next Merlon up and got some coverage on it on the right side of that form, which is I basically extended the Merlon on the left like 3 to 4 inches, just kind of to help with the pattern, and then raised that crenelle a bit, or it's in the process of raising that crenelle. That form is helping with both of those functions. This tunnel section is just about all finished except for that last hole that I have to lath up. I got that lath kind of in there. And when I tried to take the forms off this morning, there was a disaster, and I like ripped 2 pieces of rebar out of there because they'd only been in there 1 day from yesterday. I did the 2 batches of mortar, so it wasn't cured enough, and it was a disaster. So the 2 batches of mortar I did today was basically just repairing that disaster I did, so that those pieces of rebar are mortared back in, and that mortar's all a bit thicker. So maybe tomorrow I can get those forms off. When I get those forms off, I can kind of progress to the next step of figuring out what to do as this wall gets connected to that structure. And then this little extension section is all, has good coverage on it, and I can almost take this wire out, but you get the good kind of shape of this. And then crouching under the wire here, there's about half of this in here has coverage on the inside. And then we did end up doing a little bit of tire work. There's only like kind of 2 tires that were done, and then 2 more tires that were set. But it gives kind of an idea of building this tire wall over here, and over time that tunnel is going to get dug out so that you can walk in it without hunching, and the dirt that gets dug out of the tunnel will go into this tire wall here. So that is the last update for this week. You can see over there by the last Merlon how it's transitioning to the other pattern from the narrow Merlons, which are lower, that Merlon, and then it steps down, and then it goes to those narrow Merlons. So while this tunnel has been kind of in process the last couple of days, I haven't made any progress on that end. I've been putting it all in on this end, and I want to get the tunnel solid enough so that I can use it, walk over it like a bridge. So basically I just need to get an inner coat on all of this, and then I'll be able to walk over here with a lot of weight to cross over to there. So the tunnel's almost closed up. By the next week, the tunnel should be all closed up, and probably will be onto that next wall section. So yeah, coming in here, where the wood is, we'll go over to the garage structure, and then up here it goes up to the left through this little narrow archway, which is, I really like the size of it and how it kind of, the shape of it. It'll just be nice to dig some more of this dirt out so that it's easier to get through. But that's all for this week. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week. Then by the end of the day, patched that hole up, got another batch on, and got to start covering up that hole, and then more support there and over here and on the inside. Good full day.